Here are 9 words that you've probably heard in the media and all over social media that you might not know what they mean, broken down in simple words you can understand. Capitalism. Capitalism is an economic system, or a way that the economy works, where businesses are held either by people or other businesses as opposed to the government. This means that they're privately owned. These businesses are also run for profit. The market, which is the place where things are bought and sold, determines things like price of goods and how much wages you make. That's how much you get paid. There's very little government control or government oversight, which means that the government isn't making rules or decisions on a daily basis for that business. Communism. Communism is a political and economic system or way the economy works, where all property, things like land and buildings, are owned by the community or everyone. The government controls the economy to assure something called equality or fairness amongst people. There are technically no private businesses or class distinctions, which are differences between groups of people. But communism, like many other political and economic systems, is difficult to actually make happen in an altruistic way, or in a way that's true to the definition of the term. Fascism. Fascism is a far-right or extreme right-wing political set of beliefs in a strong centralized government that controls everything, including the economy, and often emphasizes nationalism, which is the idea that one country is superior to all others. They also believe in military strength and something called authoritarian leadership. And an authoritarian leadership, it's where one person or one group has all of the control and all the decision-making powers. Nationalism. Nationalism is a belief that one's country is superior to or better than all others. And beyond just that belief that their country is the greatest, there's a strong desire to prioritize or give more importance to the interests of that nation, sometimes to the exclusion or harm of other nations. Extremism. Political extremism is holding extreme political beliefs or very, very strong political beliefs that are usually at the far end of the political spectrum. The political spectrum being the different sides of political belief. Extremists often reject or refuse compromise and seek very extreme changes in society that line up with their very extreme beliefs. You see extremism on both sides, the right and the left. Radicalization. Political radicalization is a process where an individual or a group start to believe really extreme beliefs that they're being taught or told by others. And these beliefs often can lead to more aggressive or forceful actions and a rejection of what many might consider to be more mainstream or common ideas or views about things. Meritocracy. A meritocracy is a system or a way of doing things where people succeed or advance based on their skills, talents, achievements, and things they've done well, as opposed to things like wealth, background, or social connections. Meritocracy is one of those things that people say, this sounds like a really good idea on paper. Things should be based on merit. But realistically, often meritocracies have difficulty staying true to being merit-based and often fall back, like many other things, on who you know and who can get you into a position or what you need. A plutocracy is a society based around a group of people or a government where the very wealthy or rich hold all the power and make decisions that only or solely benefit the rich, often at the expense of hurting or causing harm to the general population. You might hear plutocracy and oligarchy sometimes used interchangeably, but they're not exactly the same thing. And an oligarchy. This is a system or a way of doing things in the government where a small group of people, typically from the same class or background, who have the same amount of money or power or status, all have control and authority and then use that control to make decisions about what happens for everyone else. It doesn't really matter what the needs of the people are, it's about the needs of this small group of people. If you found this list interesting, I implore you to follow us, where you can learn more about the words, the terms, and the concepts that base U.S. civics and the government, and what they really mean and how they impact your daily life. You can also look up in things like the free market, supply and demand, the concept of laissez-faire and competition, things like collective ownership, the proletariat and the bourgeoisie, things like totalitarianism and what propaganda is, diving into the difference between sovereignty and cultural pride and patriotism. These are all things and more that we will be building on here at the Shatterpoint, on top of our very foundational resources about what does a senator do, and what are the branches of government, and what is your role in the voting process. If you found this content useful, give it a share, give us a join, and you can always check us out on our completely free Substack, where we post all of our articles in both written and audio form that anyone with at least a 7th grade education can follow. Reporting live from my bathroom, thanks for being here.